10 things police can force you to do at a traffic stop. Most drivers think they know their rights during a traffic stop, but the truth is, there are several things police officers are legally allowed to make you do, and refusing could land you in serious legal trouble. Today, I'll break down 10 things cops can force you to do during a stop so you stay informed, stay safe, and avoid turning a simple traffic stop into a nightmare. Make sure you watch until the end, because the last one is the most surprising. Number 1, provide your driver's license, registration, and insurance. The very first thing an officer can legally demand during a traffic stop is your driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance. This isn't optional, it's required by law in every state. Refusing to hand over these documents will almost certainly escalate the stop, possibly leading to fines, arrest, or your vehicle being towed. Think about it. Your license proves you're legally allowed to drive, registration proves the car belongs to you, or that you're authorized to use it, and insurance shows you're covered if something goes wrong. If you can't provide these, officers have reasonable cause to suspect something illegal, like driving without insurance or operating a stolen car. That's why you should always keep these documents together and easily accessible. Number 2, exit the vehicle, if ordered. Many drivers are surprised to learn that police officers can legally order you out of the car, even if you haven't committed a serious crime. This power comes directly from a Supreme Court ruling, Pennsylvania vs. Mims, 1977. The court decided that officer safety outweighs the minor inconvenience to the driver. This means if an officer asks you to step out, you have to comply, whether you're the driver or even just a passenger. Refusing to do so can be considered resisting lawful orders, which can escalate the situation quickly. The good news? Most of the time, this order isn't a sign that you're in major trouble. It's often just for safety reasons, like if the officer wants to separate you from distractions in the car. Number 3, hand over your keys. If an officer suspects you might drive off during the stop, or if they believe your car is unsafe to drive, they can ask for your car keys, and you're legally required to give them up. This authority is rooted in public safety laws. Imagine if a drunk driver refused to hand over their keys and sped away. That would put lives at risk. Handing over your keys temporarily prevents this danger. It doesn't mean your car is being confiscated. It's simply a way to make sure you stay put until the stop is resolved. If you refuse, you could be arrested for obstruction, and your car could be impounded. So if an officer asks for your keys, don't argue. It's legal and it's enforceable. Number 4, stay inside your vehicle. While officers can ask you to step out, they can also order you to stay inside your car during a traffic stop. This might sound contradictory, but it depends on the officer's judgment and safety concerns. For example, if you're pulled over on a busy highway, it's often much safer for everyone if you remain in the car rather than standing on the shoulder. Police officers are trained to control the environment during a stop, and keeping you inside the vehicle reduces unpredictable movement. Refusing to stay inside when told can be seen as defiance or even an attempt to flee. So whether the officer says step out or stay in, their command is legally binding and must be followed. Number 5, wait while they run a background check during any traffic stop. The officer is allowed to run your license and registration through a database to check for outstanding warrants, unpaid tickets, or stolen vehicles. This process can take several minutes, and yes, you are legally required to wait. Some drivers get impatient and try to leave once they've handed over their documents. But that's a big mistake. Driving off before the officer finishes their background check can be considered fleeing the scene, which could escalate into a much bigger legal issue. As frustrating as it is to wait, remember, this step is standard procedure and ensures that you and your vehicle are in good legal standing. Number 6, answer certain basic questions. While you have the right to remain silent, there are a few basic questions an officer can legally require you to answer, like confirming your name, date of birth, and address. These aren't optional because they're tied directly to verifying your identity. Refusing to provide this information could result in an arrest for obstruction of justice or even being detained until your identity is verified. However, beyond these basics, you don't have to answer more probing questions like, where are you headed? Or have you been drinking? That's where your right to remain silent kicks in. Knowing the difference between required and optional answers is key to protecting yourself legally. Number 7, submit to a sobriety test. If an officer has reasonable suspicion that you've been drinking or using drugs, they can legally require you to perform a field sobriety test or take a breathalyzer. Refusing to comply isn't just suspicious. It usually results in automatic penalties, including license suspension, hefty fines, and sometimes arrest. This is due to implied consent laws, which say that by driving on public roads, you've already agreed to these tests if pulled over. Failing the test will likely lead to arrest, but refusing it can actually be worse in some states, since the refusal itself is considered an admission of guilt. Bottom line, if you're asked to take a sobriety test, you're legally bound to comply. Number 8, have your car searched under probable cause. While police can't just search your car for no reason, they absolutely can if they have probable cause. That means if they see something illegal in plain view, like drugs, weapons, or open alcohol containers, they don't need your permission to search. Probable cause can also be triggered by the smell of marijuana, visible contraband, or suspicious behavior. Once established, refusing a search isn't an option. They're legally allowed to proceed without your consent. If you deny them and try to stop the search, you could face charges for interfering with law enforcement. The best approach? Stay calm, don't interfere, and let the process happen. You can always challenge the legality of the search later in court if needed. Number 9, detain you temporarily. A traffic stop is legally considered a form of detention, meaning an officer can keep you there for a reasonable amount of time while they investigate. What counts as reasonable depends on the situation, but courts generally allow up to 20 to 30 minutes. During this time, you can't just drive off, even if you are in a rush. Trying to leave before being released can be considered fleeing or resisting, which can lead to arrest. If the officer has further suspicion, like spotting drugs or weapons, they may legally extend the detention. While this might feel unfair, the law gives them authority to keep you there until their safety concerns or investigative steps are addressed. Number 10, arrest you if you refuse lawful orders. At the end of the day, if you flat out refuse to follow lawful orders during a traffic stop, the officer can arrest you. Lawful orders include handing over documents, exiting the vehicle, or staying put when asked. Refusal is considered obstruction, and once it escalates to that point, handcuffs can come out. It doesn't matter if you think the stop is unfair, you'll have to fight it in court later. The safest thing you can do in the moment is comply with the legal orders and avoid escalating the situation. So there you have it. 10 things police officers can legally force you to do during a traffic stop. Knowing these rules can save you from making a small traffic stop way worse than it needs to be. Always remember, your attitude and knowledge are your biggest tools. Stay calm, stay respectful, and know your rights. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Care Xpert, and share it with a friend. You never know who might need this info on the road. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.